AA.
Alrighty, guys. Good
KC.
afternoon. Welcome back to Talkaholics with your host, Jose C10 Covarrubias. My apologies. Today we came a little bit late, 3 minutes late. But yes, so we are live as well on TikTok. If you guys want to check us out at More Ways Jose, TikTok is the one that's currently live right now. For today, we will be going over some information about the military. So, a couple things that we're going to be going through. I want to be talking to basically all the audience in general. So, number one, I'll be talking about when people want to join the military. If you have family members that are thinking about joining the military or have in mind at least uh, anything has to do with the service, that'll be one of the things that I'll be talking about. It will be 10 things that I'll be talking about today. I'll be doing about roughly 3 for each, and then at the end, I'll be talking about also some bonus tips to family members. Family members, friends, and even loved ones from military, either military background, people that want to go into the military, and then as well people that are family members of veterans. So let's begin. Number one, this goes for all the people before, right? If you are thinking about joining the military, here's some couple things that it'll be interesting for you. So majority of the times people go into the military right after high school. So a couple things to look into or look at is that if you are let's say you graduate and you're 17 years old, you do have to wait until you're of age of 18, or you can actually have one of your parents, or most likely it's gonna have to be both of your parents, sign for you because technically you are still a minor. Another thing to look into, same thing with topic number one, is don't get in trouble. And by this, I mean don't get in trouble in every aspect. When it comes to criminal, when it comes to financial, so don't get into debt. Don't buy the that car that is like super expensive that you cannot afford yet. And don't get into any physical danger or any physical trouble. I know there's people that like to party hard, and that could go it could go bad in multiple ways, right? One of them, it could disqualify you from going into the military. So again, criminal. So don't do anything that will hinder you or will to join the military. If you have any DUIs, which you shouldn't have a DUI, right? Because you are not of age to drink. But in the event that you do get a DUI, stuff like that, that is a potential ban from the military, or at least they'll say no for right now. There's a couple branches that might take you, but it's a big of a deal, right, for them, because again they want the best of the best. They want somebody to join and actually do their job accordingly. Hit record. Uh, Number two, I got study. So make sure, and what I mean by study is that make sure that you take into consideration everything. Go into the internet, go and even ask, AI, ChatGPT, Grok, whatever you use, study. And by this I mean literally everything. If you are just coming right out of high school, sometimes you have the upper hand because you just got your SATs. Just think about the ASVAB scores or the ASVAB test or the military entry test as the SATs on steroids. So study. This is going to help you tremendously. It's going to help you to get a better qualifying job. Depending on what branch that you're trying to go into, this can actually help you a lot. I know that at least for my branch, the one that I was in the Air Force, right? So for this one, I was I know that sometimes like the minimum for the ASVAB, it'll be roughly, I want to say that right now it's like 43 on that general. So again, make sure that you go into study mode, study everything, study the job that you're trying to go into. Like do the research. Do the research in depth when it comes to that. Talk to people that have been in the military. Talk to us. You guys have our information. Let us know if you guys need help when it comes to stuff like this. It is very crucial for you to know basically what you're getting yourself into. That leads to the second, or I'm sorry, to the third topic or the third tip. Tip number 3, make sure that you know what you're getting into. By this, I mean that know that it is a long-term commitment. So know specifically what you're trying to do, how you're trying to do it. Do as much as research as possible. This is important because even if you think that you're trying to like join because let's say your uncle, your brother, your sister, a family member, a friend join, it might not be the same experience for you. So you gotta see if all these things align with you, and in order for you to basically select the right branch. So yes, the military has branches, has different branches, right? So we have the Army, we have the Marines, we have Navy, we have Air Force, we do have now Space Force, and we also have Coast Guard. So know which one is the best one for you. Research. Again, going back to 2, research, study whatever you want to do, and research the branch that you're trying to get into. This also means understand that there are different types of services. And by this, I mean different ways that you can actually serve. There is a full-time job, and that is called active duty, right? There is reserve, which is depending on what type of reserve you are, you can be basically working just 1 weekend a month. There's also another type of reserve where you choose your actual schedule, but it is super hard to obtain these. It is recommended for you to start with the normal traditional reserves, then move on to IMA. That's the name of it. Not all branches offer these types of services as well. So again, do your research, study for this. The next one, guard. Guard and reserve are sometimes very similar. So dive deep into these examples. Dive deep into whatever that is that you're trying to get into. Know what you're trying to get into. A lot of people I've heard, they're like, I want to get into the military because I want to study, and I know that they offer free tuition assistance. I want to join because of the benefits that you're going to get afterwards. I want to join because X, Y, and Z. Know exactly what you're trying to get into, and then know what basically each branch offers. Don't get me wrong, each branch should offer everything similar. It is a different lifestyle for all the branches. Army folks are gonna literally be probably, if you're listening, I've heard also people that are good friend of mine from the Army, let's say they've been retired, they're close to retirement, and they have children that they want to get into the military. The first thing that they tell them is, join another branch. And then the reason why they say this, it's because again, they went through it. Does that mean that they're going to go through the same process, the same troubles and all these things? No, but they've seen a couple things, right? Again, listen to experience. Don't go into this alone, and whatever you do, don't get in trouble. All right, now moving into the during. This goes for military members that are currently serving, right? People that are currently serving, remember why you joined. So it is very crucial to understand this. And then again, if you did your homework correctly, then you should be good. You should get to a point where honestly, you should enjoy it. You should have fun. Sometimes I feel that a lot of people see it as a very hard job or very hard place to be in the military. And 9 times out of 10, this happens because they didn't want to either join that branch. They were quote unquote not forced, but they basically were had peer pressure, or they thought that it was going to be something way different. This goes into the our recruiters lying to us. Not necessarily. Their job is to recruit. Their job is to get people in. Their job is also to educate you on those things. So, but they give you limited information because that's all they have right now, or that's all they have at that point. So make sure that you do your own research, and that way, whenever you are already in the service, that you get to a point where you actually enjoy, or at least make your time more pleasant. Um, there's going to be always just two types of people that join the military, or I should say that leave the military. The person who is very grateful that they joined, and regardless of their experience, they actually have some good things to talk about the military. Whether, even though they went to like hard stuff, they have still some good information, or at least good memories and benefits from the military. And then you're gonna have the people that get out or get kicked out of the military that have a very awful taste in their mouth. These people normally is because one or two things. They didn't do their job, their research appropriately, or when they did, they thought that it was something, not related to what they were actually thinking. They go off of a fantasy. So a lot of people fantasize with being in the military, being like special forces, being in X, Y, and Z things because they see movies and they're like, I want to be there, I want to do those things until you're there. So again, make sure that you know why you joined. Um, Tip number 5: utilize everything that the military offers. The military offers a lot of things, a lot of good things. Whether you want to call it like freebies, or you want to call it that it's like an advantage or like a reward for joining. You name it, just use it. One of the things that normally I tell folks to take advantage of is that the military offers you schooling in multiple aspects, in multiple ways. It offers you a way for you to educate yourself that can potentially help you in the outside, because not everyone, or not actually nobody, stays forever in the military unless you pass away while you're in service. But there is even a limit to this. There's only a limit to how many years you can actually serve. So again, utilize all the resources. One being, again, school, tuition assistance. That is a major component of the Air Force too, that they want their members to be educated. It is actually a requirement for some of the ranks. In order for you to obtain those ranks, it is a requirement that you have certain certifications or certain degrees. This goes on the officer side, and this goes also in the enlisted side. So maybe this could be also a kind of like an extra tip for the members, that people that are trying to join the military. There is two sides of, well, technically majority of the branches have two sides. They have enlisted members and they have officers. Enlisted members, they usually go like straight out of high school. If you are a officer, most likely the minimum requirement is for you to obtain a bachelor's degree. So if you are thinking of joining the military, and again, I'm sorry for going back on this, but if you're thinking of joining the military, and you already have a master's degree or a bachelor's degree, your better route will probably be going into the officer side. So, one, it's better pay, and it's the treatment is way better. So, sorry about that. Going back into number five, school and school utilization. Another thing that is also related to school is the GI Bill. So, when I remember when I came into the military and back in 2012, at that point you had the option if you wanted to buy in to the GI Bill. I don't know if things have changed, but that I remember, you can opt in or opt out of the GI Bill. You pay, I want to say that it was like $100 for per month, and then basically you pay into the GI Bill. What the GI Bill does is that it is technically a bank account that it expands that lets you go to school. I want to say that it's close to $60,000 that it covers in tuition, but don't quote me on that. I need to do my research as well on that. But it is a very good thing. You can even utilize it while you're in service. A lot of people that are in service, because they have a max out amount that you get on a yearly basis for tuition assistance. I want to say, and again, don't quote me. I've been in the reserves now for about 3 years, so I don't know if it's still the same, but it was that I want to say it was 4,500. So I have a question on my TikTok from JG. He's asking, until what age can you come into the military? So I want to say that now they extended that. I want to say that now they are talking about, I want to say that the age went up to 42 or 43. So, and don't quote me on this. I want to say that that might be for like the reserves or like the guard, because I don't think it'll be for the active duty side. I will have to get back to you on that one, but I will post it. Whenever I post this video, I will post it, the actual age for you guys that to enter the military. Sorry, going back again to the school. GI Bill, right? It is a good thing to utilize. Like I was saying, there's people that you have a maxed out of 4,500 per year for tuition assistant. Normally, for military members and their families as well, this is also a program that spouses can actually utilize. There is a spouse TA, tuition assistance. So your spouse can actually go back to school as well. If they don't have a degree, they can utilize these things as well. Again, I've had some of my peers that actually utilize the tuition assistance, and then because they wanted to get more classes on, or classes, basically done, get their degree done as soon as possible, they actually utilize their GI Bill. Instead of them using their own money, they use the GI Bill, which again, you can do it. There are some requirements for it though. For the GI Bill, I want to say that at least you have to have 3 years in order for you to be able to utilize it. Okay, another of the things that is very important for you guys to be able to use is the healthcare. This is something that it is super crucial. Military members do not have to pay for anything that it comes to do with, that has to do while they're in active duty, that has to do with medical. So take advantage of this. Take advantage to the max. Now I'm not saying to overdo it. If you have a headache, don't go to the hospital and just like you're still wasting. There's fraud, waste, and abuse on this as well, right? But whenever you do need to utilize the services, use them. Your family most likely has also some type of benefit as well, health benefit. If you have children, so that's another of the things that just use the benefits in general, and it helps you, tremendously. Going back into the health. So a tip that I will give This is kind of like 5.5. That's not going to 6. 5.5, well, actually, it'll be connected to the next one. If you think that your ego is bigger than you, then maybe, right? But put your ego aside. If there is some stuff that really is bothering you and you're in service, and then let's say that for X, Y, and Z reason, you're like, you know what, I might not be able to have they're gonna reclass me, and translation to civilian world, reclassification might be that you might have to be changed to a different job, and that might be because either you have to do something with mental health, has something to do with an injury that you probably have now. But at the end of the day, make sure that you utilize those services. And this connects to the next tip. Tip number 6. Get covered. Yes, we do have the SGLI and the family SGLI, right? These services are technically a group term policy. As everyone knows now, well, as everyone in the military knows, the SGLI covers, I want to say that now is all the way up to $500,000. That is a death benefit. They do not offer, that I know of, they do not offer living benefits. This means that you have to die. Even if you become disabled or anything like that, they will not basically activate or give you that benefit. So one of the things that I always tell my folks now is that get covered. Get your coverage, get your own type of life insurance, whether that be a term or whether that be something permanent. Get it while you're in the military. While you're in there, you get better ratings, you get everything. Not a lot of the things are basically, they're not in your medical board in your medical file as of now, right? So if you're trying to go for anything, even if you're in the military and then you know that something is coming up and you feel something is happening to you, make sure you get coverage. The reason why I'm saying this is because once you go out of the military, one, yes, you do have a conversion time frame where you can grab your same coverage and translate it into the civilian sector. But like everything, there are limitations. These limitations might include that it's like you only can do it for X amount of years. The price for it should stay very affordable, but sometimes it's not. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I can speak personally on this. Before I got out of the military, if I would have gotten my insurance, my life insurance, it would have been way smoother, way easier, and way cheaper. One, because of my age and my health. Once I got out of the military, everything that I did on my outpatient and my out processing of the military, now it went to the medical board. Everything. So if you have migraines, if you have some other stuff that if you have to utilize like a CPAP machine, if you have sleep apnea, if you have broken in the military, now it will be on your medical board and your medical files. So everyone in the medical community, when it comes to like the financial services or the life insurance agencies, they will have access to all these things. The reason why I'm telling you guys to get covered and get basically your own personal life insurance is because once you get out, it can be hard. You might even get denied. And yes, you can get denied, regardless if you were in the military and then you might look well, you might feel well. There might be some stuff that sounded so country. There might be some stuff that might affect your ratings. And by this I mean that if something comes up of like mental health, they might be a little bit more on the risky side for you to get approved. And instead of you getting approved at a certain rate where it's like optimal or like it's the best, because you have some tendencies there, they might put you at a different rate because you can be a liability in a sense. So again, take advantage of it while you're in the event that you already are getting out, or you're in the process of getting out, do it. You still have time. You know, people that are on leave is technically, if you translate it to civilian words, it's kind of like PTO. So even during your leave for military members, apply apply for life insurance. And again, if you guys need anyone, I'm here. I can help you out. We have agents that can help you guys out as well. So don't feel like you're not alone. We are here to help you guys, to support you guys, to guide you guys. And another thing that I did see, I was fortunate to be in a position where I got to be one of the last persons, or actually the last person for a lot of military members, at least in the state of Nevada, and my last base, Nellis Air Force Base, where I got to see everything. I was a retirement and separations guy, right? I saw people that were so prepared that they had their exit strategy already, in stone, basically. They already knew what they wanted to do, they already had everything going on. But then I also saw people that either were separated involuntarily, so meaning that they did something wrong and then they got pushed out of the military. So for all those people, like, I felt some type of way because they were at one point my peers, right? So it's like, yes, they did some of them did some awful things, but there were some that it was just like, you didn't know what you didn't know, or they were just ignorant about it. But again, it's awful when I got to see, I got to experience, some of these folks that were like very young airmen that basically did some stuff that they shouldn't have done. But let's say, example of one of them that I still remember, he just had a child, and he had already, this was his second child. So wife just gave birth, and he did some illegal substance for the federal side, And again, this is also another hint. Whatever civilians do, just know that if you join the military, you are held to a higher standard. So even if in your state you are allowed to consume in some, like, substance, whether that be cannabis or anything like that, in the federal side, it is still not approved and it's prohibited. And that can lead to what happened to this member, that he got kicked out of the military. No exit strategy. It was more like, okay, you had it coming, and that had it coming, quote unquote, was only about a month's notice. So if he didn't have anything saved, he didn't have anything proper set up for civilian life, again, it sucks. Because, sometimes we can't help everyone, right? But this is why we have Talkaholics. This is why we have you guys here, because I want to provide that information, that crucial information for you guys. That way you guys don't make the same mistakes that I did, and the same mistakes that I saw a lot of people committing, So then this takes me into the next phase. This goes to the after side. For after, people that already left the military, submit number 7, submit your claim. Whatever you do, even if you're trying to join the reserves, if you're an active duty side, then you get out and you want to try the reserves, try the guard or anything, that period of time in service, you're going to get a DD 214. So all that time, make sure that you submit your VA claim. It is better if you do it, if you're submitting it right before you separate or retire, because potentially you can get the approval or you can get your letter, your award letter, as soon as you already are out of leave or as soon as you're basically stepping out into the civilian sector. Why is this so important? I've seen a lot and I've heard and talked to a lot of veterans that they have said, hey, I just did 4 years, man. I don't need to submit a claim. Yeah, you do. Yes, you do. You might be surprised at the things that you can still are qualifying for. Even if you get just 10%, there is some clauses in the and this goes also for like the VA, right? The VA loans. Again, this is also for military members and for people that are veterans. Your VA loans. VA loans, they have a part basically where if you are a disabled veteran, and I want to say, and again, don't quote me on this, I'll bring later on a expert on this, but I want to say that it's as long as you have minimum of 10% of disability that is surrendered, you can get basically some of the I want to say it's kind of like the funding part being taken out of. So you get more money on, you have more utilization for your money. So I want to say it's for like the funding that they remove it or they kind of like it's just kind of waived. But again, I've seen people that have been out of the military for 5, 10 years, 15 years. Just so you know, there is no time. It's not a time sensitive stuff. If you go and then you serve back in, I don't know, 1995, you still serve. Hopefully you still have your DD 214. Hopefully you have some type of records or anything, but at least apply. What's the worst that can happen? For them to say no? What's the best that can happen? For you to be granted a percentage of disability. A major thing that helps military members, also disabled veterans, like myself, it is, at least in the state of California, property taxes. You get exempt for property taxes like it's nobody's business. It is more money in your pocket. Use it. Other states, I want to say that they go out with even property taxes. I want to say that Florida is one of them. I used to be in the state of Florida, and I want to say that they help military members a lot too. And I want to say that's one of them. They don't pay property taxes, or if they do, it's very minimal. Again, but if you have a rating of 10% or more, you qualify for a lot more things. So, worst thing that can happen, for them to say no. Best thing that can happen, you get more benefits, you help your family, and you have a better life. So, that's another one, right? So, submit your claim. If you guys need assistance submitting claims, I personally do not submit claims for anyone, but I can get you in contact with the people that can help you guys out. The first resource that you guys should go to is the va.gov. That is va.gov. So, military members, victoralpha.gov. This could be your first step. You can call them. They have to have records of you, at least your DD 214. They can look into you. They can look whatever things that you're trying to achieve, and they'll get you help. You know. Number 8. Use the VA. Veterans, use the VA. Yes, we understand that there is a lot of people that are skeptical about the VA and the way they treat VA veterans. Majority of VA members that are there to serve veterans are veterans themselves. But yes, they do have a bad reputation of sometimes being either very crowded or being very grumpy to veterans. So hopefully it doesn't stop you, and still get the help that you need. Anything. There is also suicide hotlines. If you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling like you're down, like you're not, you're just feeling down, utilize those lines. Call us. Send me a text. I'm always here for you. Even if I don't know you, let's go. Give me a ring. That goes, I know for a lot of my friends that are listening and that will see this video, I'm here for you guys. I've been in your shoes. I know how that feels. So give us a call. Call those lines. My number, if you guys ever need anything, just have a conversation with me. Number 714-360-3025. You can contact me at TikTok, More Ways Jose, Instagram, More Ways Jose, Facebook, More Ways Jose, even in YouTube. Same thing, if you want to contact Talkaholics, contact Talkaholics. You can find us at Talkaholics 411 and all the same platforms. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Please, don't feel like you're alone. So, tip number 9. For tip number 9, I want to say that one of the best things that you guys can do is, for veterans, continue investing in yourselves. The same resource that we had in the military when it comes to tuition assistance, there is some tuition assistance for veterans and tuition assistance for veteran spouses as well. Again, if you don't submit your claim, you don't have access to none of these things. As long as you submit a claim and you have something, they can help you out. Even for your families. So I'm gonna say, personally, I'm 100% disabled, total and permanent. So for this, I know that all the things that I went through the military, yes, some of them were good, some of them were like super bad, but I am so grateful to have that opportunity, because that has put me in that position that I am currently right now, whether all the people that I met, all the people that basically helped form me, helped guide me, and then even the people that didn't, the people that were not as good as a person, that also helped me understand and not be like them. Right? So, continue investing in yourself. And again, same thing as somebody that will be in the military. Get coverage. Get coverage, because that, whatever that is like whatever you earn in the military. Actually, that just reminded me. Let me go back at least to one of them. While you're in the military, utilize your TSP, your thrift savings plan. It is the version in the military for a 401k. Make sure that you understand it. And if you are contributing to it, make sure that you know exactly where you're allocating your money. Look that word up. Allocations. So know where your money is going. The default is the G fund. The G fund, it is a very secure fund, but your earnings there are almost null. They're non-existent. If somebody were to ask me, what else can I, how can I do the TSP? Again, you should have a finance office that can help you with all those things. Do your own research. What does a TSP is? How many, things they, or how much we can contribute. It is different for civilians than it is for military members. I want to say for civilians, for the Roth TSP or the Roth 401k, if you want to call it IRA, it is only 7,500 or 7,000. I think it's 7,500. For military members, it is not that amount. I want to say that it's close to or exceeding $20,000. So, or I want to say a certain percentage of your actual salary. So look that up. For people that are still in the military that like to invest in your Roth. And again, for people that are already out, same thing. Keep investing in yourself, get protected, keep protecting your families, and then make sure that you guys are aware of all the other services that they are there. I'm gonna go into the next topic, but before I go into the next topic, I'm gonna do a follow-up video where I actually tell basically military members and their veterans as well, what are those benefits that we can still utilize besides the ones that I already just told you guys to right now. So before I get to number 10, I'm gonna go for families. So I got about 9 more minutes with you guys. So tip number 1, I guess, bonus number 1 for family members. Know that it's hard for military members sometimes to adapt to civilian life. Not for everyone, but people that have been in the military, just think about this. You leave your town. Most likely, if you go into the active duty side, most likely your first base is going to be way far from where you live. So you don't have friends. You don't have family members nearby. And if you do, man, you're lucky. If you don't, and even if you do, know that, and this goes for the family members, know that it is hard because you start forgetting about them. You stay in the same groups, you have the same friends, but the military member leaves. They're out there doing their own stuff, and sometimes whenever they come back, it's like they're taking their time out to come visit you guys. And sometimes you guys can't even drive even 4 hours to go see them. When sometimes they take planes that are 5 hours to come and see you guys. So that's my tip number 1 for the families. Know that sometimes it's super hard to adapt to military life. And by you guys being there for them, to support them, means a lot. Tip number 2 for the families, friends, loved ones. Check up on them. Check up on them, but don't play FBI. Whatever you guys do, do not play FBI with them. The reason why I'm saying this is because some of the information that you guys are trying to access might be information crucial for what they're doing, what they're about to do, that could put them in danger. So yes, I understand that sometimes you guys want to be nosy, that you guys want to know what's going on with your family members, but hold on, give me 1 second. Can you pass me the other microphone? Oh, oops. Hey guys, I don't think you guys can listen. on hear me out on the TikTok. Sorry, technical difficulties. Again, I've had friends where they had their spouse, their significant other, their mom, their kids, and they kept on asking them, "Where are you going? You know, you got to check up on us with us." And due to that, they either had to delay their flights, they had to, basically change the operations because people leak information. They're not doing that just because they want to be mean with you. They're doing that for their own safety. Just to remind you guys, they are in the military. They have a duty to serve in their capacity, whatever it is, but respect that. And then the last tip for the families that I have, try to research what they do. Again, don't go FBI on them, but try to understand it. This is one of the main reasons why a lot of military members um, don't adapt as quickly, because majority of us, you wake up, you breathe, and you live military, right? You get so used to talking a certain way, understanding it, that whenever you get out of the military, or whenever you have and you go back to your families, it's like sometimes it's hard because you think that nobody understands you, because 9 times out of 10 they don't understand you. They don't understand your humor. They don't understand the way that you guys think, whether that be critically or whether that be in a different way of thinking. Sometimes they say certain things that, that they're like, are you paranoid? All these and all that. It all really depends on what that service member went through in their career. So research a little bit more what they do and make them feel like they're still part of that family. Sometimes you feel alienated from your families. Um, I can personally say that the same people that I left, I know that majority of them or some of them, they still have the same friends that I let when I left. They have their own group of friends. Now they're all grown. Now they have families, and all those families, like they talk to each other. They they feel different, right? Because they feel like they don't fit anymore. Because most likely they don't fit anymore. They think differently. They are not saying that they're in better than you guys, or they're saying like they're a different level, but it is a different type of thinking. Majority of military members isolate themselves. Unless, and this has happened to me in multiple occasions, if you know about another person that is in the military or that was in the military, you click. You literally, you feel good. You know that that person went through something very similar that you did. And at this point, you feel happy. You feel like you found one of your guys. An extra bonus of the bonus. Don't make fun of military members. Um, this is kind of like on a personal level. It's like, unless you have served, like we have our own kind of like jokes, like our inside jokes in all the branches. Um, and a funny one that I can say it, right? It's that uh, I didn't feel offended, but I know that one of my friends did. He was a Marine, and one of my family members called me like, "Oh, you're in the Chair Force, right?" And 'cause that's what they call Air Force members, Chair Force. And he said it. He said something that resonated with me a lot now. That he was like, "You didn't earn to be able to call him that," and I respect that because it's true. There's people that almost joined, and until you do, I feel like you would probably understand why those things matter to us. Again, and then that leads to tip number 10. And that is a simple one. Tip number 10 for everyone: follow, subscribe, give us a comment, share, like. Let us know what you guys want to hear from us. We are here for you guys all the time. Remember that seat 10 has your 6. And then again, let me tell you guys my socials. It is More Ways Jose. That is on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Please follow us on those platforms as well. That is Talkaholics 411. If you guys want to listen to us, we are going to be starting putting more of our videos in YouTube. We do have all of our podcasts at Amazon Music. Talkaholics on ACAA. That is the way that it shows up on Amazon Music. And that is all I have for today, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Until next time, have a good one.
NBC News on